All right, everybody. One of the most exciting days of the calendar year. One of the most exciting Sundays out there. It is Selection Sunday. And we are going to figure out the 68 teams that make up March Madness and where they're going to be playing. We know the automatic qualifiers. Purdue just won the Big Ten. USF won the American earlier today. And how about Penn in the Ivy League? How about that? Crazy overtime game. Could have some massive implications on the 12 and the 13 line. And now we are going to figure out where everyone is going to be. The selection show is going to start in 25 minutes. I will keep you updated on everything taking place. We've got a lot to dissect. If you can see on the screen, everyone watch your 4K TV on the bubble. Yep. There you go. All good, JP. All good. We've got 68 spots to fill. Automatic qualifiers take up 31. I have 29 teams that are locked. These teams that I consider locked, according to Bracket Matrix, there are 129 bracketologists out there that are credible. They're licensed bracketologists. These teams are above the 10 line and are in all 129 brackets. Perfect timing, Red Rhino. Yep. Turn into defilement of Penn. And yeah, Power was amazing in that game. He was on a tear. He was out here. USF, yeah, they're on there. I thought they were on there. Are they not on there? They should be on there. Hang on. Is USF? I thought USF should be on there. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm missing 2, actually. Hang on. I'm missing 2. Hang on. Give me a second here. Sorry about that. I'm missing 2 automatic qualifiers. Give me a second here. UCF is on the bottom. Yep. It's all alphabetical order. It's all alphabetical order. Man, Missouri, SMU. Well, I'm not like confident. I'm not 100% confident. I think they'll be in. SMU, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about SMU. SMU, I am not sure about. But we will see. How's it going, everyone? Appreciate you. Let me just double check. Make sure I have everyone in for this. Oklahoma might be out, yeah. I think they're going to be the last one in. I think Oklahoma, just because of what they did in the SC tournament, narrowly survived. So HPU. I did not put Howard. Okay, Howard's the one that's missing. Okay, Hofstra, Howard, and then USF. Those are the 2. That's easy enough. UMBC, USF. Perfect. All right. Yeah, SMU, I'm leaning toward out at this point. Sing Seed Hall, Indiana, make would be the equivalent of 2015 Tulsa. Only one bracket Hamgan is an at-large. Yep. Yeah, so less about, yes, South Florida's on the EQ list. Yep, South Florida's on the EQ. Missouri had a good record as far as ACC. Yeah. Yes, they did. Ready for the madness. Me too. So we've got 68 spots to fill. We got 31 automatic qualifiers, 29 locks that are above the 10 line, according to Bracket Matrix, are in everyone's bracket. And then, who knows? I have 16 teams realistically on the bubble fighting for 8 spots. I would assume Cincinnati is not there. Yeah, Indiana, they are in just one bracket of the 129 that are licensed bracketologists. They're part of the Bracket Matrix. They are not in my bracket. In my bracket, my last team is Oklahoma. I have Miami in the first 4. In what I think the committee does, we should know the 1 seeds. The 1 seem pretty obvious. It's going to be Duke, going to be Arizona, going to be Michigan. We believe it's going to be Florida, barring anything crazy. Have them Hogs. Yeah, they've been phenomenal as of late. They've been incredible. That is a team that could make a run. That's a team that I don't know. If that's a 5 seed, that's not a 12 I want. That's not going to ensure a 12 seed, or if they're a 4 versus 13. I don't want High Point playing them. Ben Stoneby out according to the experts again anyway. Yeah, that's Oklahoma to me. I think that's Oklahoma. Miami, Ohio, and Santa Clara last 4 buys. I think Santa Clara did enough to survive the first 4 after what happened against St. Mary's. My logic with that game in the semifinals was if you lose that game badly, you're probably out. You lose but keep it close, you're in. You win that game, you're in the main field. I don't just scalp. All right, that's fair. How's it going, Kevin? Appreciate you tuning in. One college truly tantrum about not being considered for March Madness selection pulled out of the NIT in protest. Yeah, I'm never crazy about that. What teams will be overseeded? What team do you think will be overseeded? I think compared to last year, Louisville is an 8 seed last year. I think they're going to be higher than an 8 this year. And I'm not crazy about Louisville at all this year. So Louisville, I think, is going to be a little bit overseeded. UNC is clearly not the same team without Wilson. Tennessee is always an iffy one. They could be a bit overseeded. I'm gonna lean Tennessee and Louisville are the two. Yeah, Cuff McSallick's very dangerous. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And we're gonna get this underway in just a little bit. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. We have the tournament challenge as well, the bracket challenge. If you do want to join, click that link above or scan the QR code. VCU overseeded. I mean, I think everyone's got them on the 11 line, right? I don't think anyone's got VCU higher than the 11 line. According to the 129 bracketologists, there's maybe 5 or 6 that have them listed on the 10 line. I think they're pretty comfortably on the 11. Yeah, Michigan lost. Yep, Michigan lost in the final to Purdue. So Purdue, your Big Ten champion. Not that it matters in terms of the bracket. The bracket is already decided. The Sunday championships never matter for anything unless there's a bid thief. Why they're not in the March Madness main room? They'd probably go over to the main room afterwards. They'd probably go over to the main room for the main show. There's no way they're going to be in that setup with that. No, there's no way they're doing just that. No chance. No chance. No, because if I ever get to the bracket, the bracket's not for until 6 o'clock Eastern time. The bracket is not until 6 o'clock. Miami versus Auburn in the first 4 just to shut Bruce Pearl up. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that'd be an insane game. Because good luck for anyone, any mid-major getting in ever again if Miami loses that game by a lot. How's it going, Miles? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you being here as always. Yeah, I forgot the college name, but similar situation, Notre Dame playoff fiasco. Yeah, I forget who was it. UNC? It might have been UNC that one year. So no, they declined the NIT. My prediction for the brackets. So my prediction for the bracket is I will show you my prediction for the bracket. I will show you my prediction for the bracket. How's it going, Cujo? From Barco, Siberia. Nice. Here, you have Alabama versus UMBC. Oh, I don't think that's going to happen. UMBC is not going to be on the... UMBC is probably on the 16 line. The question is, do they avoid the first 4? Because UMBC is 202 in the net rankings. That's the 3rd lowest of the AQs. I don't think UMBC is going to even make the main field. Yeah, Belmont. Yeah. How's it going, Earl? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate being here. Yeah, Nova's not going anywhere. The front court's a bit too thin. Yeah, Nova, I think, is a paper line. They're not getting out the first weekend. I thought Devils were supposed to float. Yeah, that's a good question. They should float. Let's hope they don't do 2 mid-majors playing each other. I would not be surprised to go St. Mary's against St. Louis. I would not be surprised. So here's my prediction for the bracket. You got Purdue plus 1,000. Let's go. 10-1 odds. I love it. My prediction for the bracket is... Read it and weep. Here we go. My prediction for the bracket. Let's zoom up. Lehigh versus Duke would be objectively hilarious. Yep. This is my prediction for the bracket. I'm not sure if you can see that, but we'll zoom in. Yeah, made it 2 weeks. The conference tournament's done, and now here we are. Who we Cinderella this year? I want to see what the draw's like for St. Mary's because they can rebound well. I like the way, I mean, High Point, they get a good matchup. Akron's playing really well as of late. Akron has a high net ranking. I think Akron could be, depending on that. Well, Belmont, to be fair, Belmont, their coach left. So they get a pass. Belmont gets a pass because their coach left. Yeah, Bruce Wilson next to a Miami Ohio grad is funny. Yep. I mean, a bracketologist thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. People get paid good money for that. Yeah, Matt Hodge entered the worst possible time. Yep, that did not help matters. But Belmont, that's different because you lost your coach. I don't have a problem if you lose your coach. How's it going, Matthew? Appreciate you tuning in. So this is what I think is going to do the bracket. Frankatology? I mean, just everyone doing good. So I have on the 1 line Duke, Florida, Michigan, Arizona, Magnesia, Lehigh, and LAU. Lehigh and Prairie View are the 2 worst teams in the tournament. Yeah, you're not wrong there. I think they're doing a lot based on geography. You have to remember this year they're factoring a lot on geography, more so than usual because of the lack of charter flights. How is it going to pass? They can have an assistant head coach. Well, because everything you prepare for the tournament, it's less... First off, you lose players in the portal. And every chance you have, it takes away from hiring the coach. Yeah, we're waiting. Yep, we are waiting right now. 15 minutes till we start the show. Just get done watching the American Big Ten Championship. Now we wait for the big unveil. Yes, we do. Yeah, so I have Duke, Florida, Michigan, Arizona on the 1 lines. You lack a West Coast team of 0. Yep, and that's not great because you got a lot of West Coast regionals. Portland, San Diego... I got Michigan State, Iowa State, Houston, UConn on the 2 line. I mean, ideally, Purdue gets on the 2 line, but again, Sunday games mean nothing. Vanderbilt, Illinois, Gonzaga, Purdue on the 3 line for me. And again, Sunday games mean nothing. This is how I think the committee does it, not how I think how I would do it. I would not put Vandy on the 3 after that game today. I'd put Arkansas on the 3, but there's your 3 line. 4 line for me, Nebraska, Virginia, Alabama, Arkansas. 5 line, Tennessee, Kansas, Texas, St. John. St. Peter's is not getting in. St. Peter's is not in. If you make the portal part of it, all teams get passed for declining. Well, different rules based on your coach and whatnot. Perhaps be geographical. So every other sport is geographical. Probably you get a lot of the same matchups. They try to make it whenever they can, but you get a lot more leeway in college basketball. Then I have Louisville, BYU, Wisconsin, UNC on the 6 line. High Point was on the 13 today, but after that game by by Yale, where they lost, Penn, they're not going to be ahead of High Point. I think they're going to the 14 line. Of course, I see good 2 seeds and main seeds. Well, I think the 1 seeds are going to be from the ACC, the Big 12, Big 10, and the SEC. And this is how I think it's going to be. But we have about 14 minutes till we start the selection show. And I will not be looking at the chat while the bracket's unveiled. I'll look at it after all the teams are announced per region, if that makes sense. So, I'll put a countdown clock for the for that. Let me get that up. Well, it's Purdue being Michigan. They look very good this tournament. They look very, very good. They should cement themselves. I would put Purdue. I mean, I put them on the 2 line. We'll see if they get a 2 or a 3. They leapfrog Michigan State. I would have them leapfrog them, but I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But Purdue looked very good today. New Jersey City University in this bracket? Wrong division. You don't get why only Adam and Steph are in 2-4-3? I'm not sure. Unless they're going to have guys come over afterwards. I'm not sure. Mich got stuff for the bracket. Michigan's in. Michigan's in the field. LA Georgia got a 14-4 in the SEC is always fascinating. Yeah, if Ole Miss won the SEC, my guess is 13. My guess would be a 13 seed on that. But yeah, the countdown clock, let me know when the bracket is starting. The women's bracket drops tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. We're not on the call for that because we're going to be live for the USA Dominican Republic game. Big night tonight. Oscars, women's reveal, DR game. Could be great. What are people say about Bam dropping anything they want to discredit him? Because people in today's society just want to discredit people for doing everything. Nothing can just be cool. Also, people are saying it was the Wizards and they're not a good team, they're tanking, but no one else has dropped 83. No one's come close to dropping 83. Why are they waiting 14 minutes? FIFA World Cup, let's get the full bracket. Michigan still won, yes, absolutely. Again, championship games mean nothing on Sunday unless it's a bit thief. Michigan will still be a 1, no issues there. We assume they'll be the number 2 overall in the Midwest, and Arizona's going to be the 3, Florida the 4. Some of the times I'm most angry at a sports game. Oh, man, take your pick. Mike Campbell died? I did not see that. Oh, man. You wait until a player hits 5 home runs a game, but one self-position player. Oh, man. Oh, man, take your pick on that. Most times I've been angry at a sports game. Dragons Soul 2008 Arena Football. Divisional round. The final play. Horrible call. Jaguars Packers 2016 Week 1. The 4th down call to Allen Hurns. Oh man, there's so many times. Davis Mills came back from down 19 against the Jaguars last year. Yeah, it's crazy. Hip Club. Yep, I'm doing all right, Keller. I'm excited to have a bracket. Nightingale did again. Oh no, did he get the wrong opponent or did he crop? Was it a crop issue? Was it a wrong opponent issue? What did he do this time? Oh, God bless Boob. God bless Boob on that one. No, VCU, yeah, they're probably going to get at large anyway. I think after St. Louis lost, VCU or Dayton was getting and the loser was out. I'm not sure that's a real bid steal. The only bid thief I think is Akron. That's the only true bid thief so far. You were at that game? My brief career as a sports writer. Oh, God. Yeah, that was a crap call, and you know it. It was a crap call, and you know it. He was down at the 2-yard line. Yeah, Bears were a demonstration. Yes. Yes, but involving my team, yeah. Posted a screenshot of the lineup? Of course he did. Of course he did. What else? D-backs, the Cattell Marte cold strike. In Game 3, that home plate ump was crap. Alabama probably put Virginia. Hopefully, ND doesn't have to have the NIT tournament. Now, Alabama's not playing Virginia, at least not in the first round. They're probably going to both be on the 4 line. What's for tonight? I have no idea. Depends if we hit 200 or not. Otherwise, I'll just probably make some grilled cheese. We will see. Yeah, but Bears Vikings, that was up there. It's completely gone, man. Can MLB reporters just click save image? You think that's asking a lot of them. That's asking a lot. The worst that would have happened is still have the ball the 2-yard line with a couple seconds left. No, that was the final play of the game. I don't think there was no time left. That was the final play. Right? If I'm not mistaken, that was the final play. Love the Evans. Appreciate you a ton on that, Roll Tide. Oh, yeah, the sales stinny ad? Oh, yeah, with the pandas? Oh, my God. That was the worst ad I've ever seen. Yeah, I love doing the advertising videos. The Allstate one, I like doing that one. Eberflus Thanksgiving. Yeah, that was just flabbergasted. Grilled cheese top 10 sandwich? Easily. It's not even close. Grilled cheese is awesome. Grilled cheese is awesome. Yeah, Vikings, Bears, Chiefs, Giants, top 2 dumb decisions at 25. Those are pretty bad. Thursday, Friday, the 2 best days of the tournament. Yes, they are. Absolutely. So many games. 16 games each of those days. Packers stroke of the playoffs, so no excuse for it to happen. No, you blame McManus on that one. Well, you can blame the Packers for office for cutting Haversick. You can blame that. Again, countdown clock. You see on the top right corner of the screen. Selection show is going to be starting in 8.5 minutes. And we will find out where all these teams are going. Again, 31 automatic qualifiers. 29 teams I consider locks that are in every single bracket on the bracket matrix and above the 10 line. And then we have on the bubble 16 teams for 8 spots there. Some teams sitting further than others. UCF, we assume they're in. Santa Clara, we assume they're in. Advocates for 60, probably not. Probably not at this point. Baller. And I always watch. Right, nice. Have a great time, man. Over on the bubble? Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I don't think they're making it. Again, the bubble's in alphabetical order. I don't think Auburn's making it. 16 losses would be tough to put them in, but they do have the 3rd hardest strength of schedule. Again, I would not put Auburn in, but if any team has even a 1% chance, they're on the bubble. I would not put Auburn in. Again, everything's alphabetized for that. Just got finished watching the Big Ten tournament. Embarrassing for Michigan? I don't know about embarrassing. I mean, they're still going to be the 1 seed. Levi's ad, yeah, it wasn't great. No, the ring ad was the worst. The ring ad with the surveillance was the worst. What teams can pull off an upset? What teams can suffer an upset loss? St. John's with the wrong matchup, because that offense will go kind of cold. Teams that turn it over a lot. Tennessee, I think Kansas is playing pretty poorly right now. Kansas suffer an upset loss. Nebraska's been slumping a little bit. I think Miami's on the. I think Auburn's on the outside looking at me too, but Miami's a lock. There are some brackets that don't have Miami in, and I don't know if they're gonna be in the main field. They're probably first 4 of the 129. 5 of them don't have Miami in, so I can't put them as a lock just yet. But I'm putting them in. You like O'Day? I just want it's memorable at least. Auburn's not getting in. I agree with you, Roll Tide. Believe me, I agree. Again, the bubble is 16 teams for 8 spots, so I just put everyone on the bubble that has a chance. I don't think Auburn's getting in. They do not belong in. You're the one that, like the Coinbase said, I mean, it was catchy. I mean, it did what it needs to do. I don't like Coinbase. Auburn getting in. We'll see. UMass should get in. Nah. The AI ad. Oh, yeah, the AI ads. Oh, all the AI ads were pretty bad. 12 team Miami. Well, they're not going to be on the 12 line. No chance they're on the 12 line. No chance they're on the 12 line there. The 12 line is going to be just for the automatic qualifiers. It stops at the 11. The 11 line is when it stops. Who would I be most shocked with if they got an at-large? I mean, Cincinnati after firing Wes Miller, that'd be kind of awkward if they got an at-large. Yeah, Jerry Stiller, I mean, he's great. A&M deserves to make it. A&M's got a very good case. I think A&M's going to be in. A&M was in every single bracket between the 10 and the 11 line. The question is, do they avoid the first 4? That's the $1 million question. I think they're in on the 10 line. Michigan still won. Yep. Conference championship games, if they're on a Sunday, mean absolutely nothing. Conference championship games mean nothing if they're on a Sunday. Oh, yeah, Mr. Beast QR code. Oh, yeah, that one sucked. Well, I think Mr. Beast sucks. Yeah, now they're moving over from the studio to the main set. Yeah, Michigan 1 seed. Again, the championship games mean absolutely nothing if they're on a Sunday, unless there's a bid thief. Yeah, they're going to be on the select show. Yep, they're moving on to the main studio. Yeah, at least you got free chips. Yeah, that is true. I never got that, though. It's like if... They have to go through all these hoops to get free chips. Like, okay. I don't get your chips in 3 days. It's free. It's like, I can just Instacart them again in like 20 minutes. Hey, Levi jeans. Oh, yeah. That was not a good one. That was not a good one. I think Hot Wax, I think people confuse tattletale. Like if you're committing a crime, that's not tattling. Tattling is telling on someone that you just mind your own business. Like someone picks their nose. Like, okay, like just mind your own business. Like tattling, it's not tattling to report a crime. Somehow that got lost along the way. Who is the worst team in the Power 4 this year? Oh, jeez. The worst team in the Power 4. I mean, Georgia Tech was bad. Penn State was a joke. Boston College was awful. Oh, man, that is tough. That is tough. I would probably lean toward Boston College. Channel's under maintenance right now. Am I cooked? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Under maintenance. That is... I've never heard that for YouTube? I've never heard of that for YouTube. Yeah, NCAA States today. Yep, I have not watched any of the movies for Oscars. I used to be big on that. I used to be back in college. I have my best friend from college, big movie guy. Georgia gets in. Oh yeah, they're a lock. Georgia's a lock. They'll be on the what do I have them? I have them on the 8 line. I've got Georgia on the 8 line. Yeah, Pitt was not good either. No, Pitt was not good either. Michigan is weaker than their team suggests. I mean, they haven't played the best of the last month. For cable, ooh, unplug and plug it back in. Unplug and plug it back in. Yeah, it's telling how many I'm on the bubble. Yeah, well, I'm not confident, but they should be in. But the problem is that they don't have a tough strength of schedule. It's not their fault. They tried scheduling a bunch of teams, but it's not their fault. I mean, this is an unprecedented resume. We've never seen a team with a resume like this. So I'd probably play at noon or 10. I want to get it over with. I'd rather play at noon. I like playing it. I like getting over with. Miami gets left out. Bigger sum than Florida State? Yes, absolutely. Florida State had multiple chances to prove that they were good in a 14 field, and they didn't do it. Florida lost to... Yeah, Michigan's going to be a 1. We know the 1 seeds. It's going to be Duke, going to be Arizona, going to be Michigan, and it will probably be Florida. Yeah, 80% positive Miami's going to make it into the ends. I think they're going to make it. Question is first 4 now. I'm going first 4. Again, I put them in the main field. This is an unprecedented resume. No team has had a Ken Palm this poor and is made as an at-large. Having said that, Miami ran the table. They did everything they needed to do. But they also have a bad quad 4 loss against UMass. It is a weird field. Just finished it just in time. Perfect time. Perfect time on that one. Yeah, I think Miami's going to be first 4. Mississippi Valley State, they need to get in. Yep. Mississippi Valley State needs to get in. The Dunkin' Donuts ads are always good. Yeah, they get the Boston Celebs. They're always good. Yeah, Ring. I don't think people realize they're being surveilled by that. So, yeah, Georgia gets some of their net. Yeah, they're perfectly an 8 seed, perfectly 8 or 9. Purdue at 3. I have them as a 3. Now, if these games meant something, move them up to a 2. I'd have them over Michigan State on the 2 line. The problem is that Big Ten championship means nothing. The bracket's decided by that point unless it's a bid thief. All good, JP. Memo being left out forever for extra D1. Absolutely. I think at that point, you would see a bunch of these schools or conferences create alliances where they would stack up quad 2 games against each other. How does Michigan get a 1? Because the bracket's already decided. Michigan is still number 2 in KenPom. Michigan is number 2 in the net ranking. There's no chance they don't get a 1. How's it going, CT Man? How's it going, Alex? Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Carl. Believe me, I'm with you. I think they're going to be first 4. I don't have faith in the committee. Any American team is getting at large? Nope, 1 bid league this year. I'm going 1 bid. USF maybe if they lost today. Maybe, and that's a big if because of how weak the bubble is, but I don't see any American team getting an at large. If you look at the KenPom rankings, the next best team is Tulsa at 63. And they're not... 63 is not going to get you an at-large. That's not going to do it. Your comments for us start by 12 p.m. Sunday. Give them a few hours. I agree. Because the bracket's determined already with the SEC and the Big Ten. It means absolutely nothing. I get you on that one, Hawks. I get you. The bracket means the championship game means absolutely nothing. What was it, a couple of years ago where the Big Ten champion was on the 5 line? Yep, CBS announces one region commercial, then ESPN reveals the region to a viewer. I love that. Yep, the pacing on this is really good. Virginia, Houston should get a 1 seed at Florida's expense. No, they didn't win their conference. Houston and Virginia did not even win their conference regular season. How's it going, Alex? Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I think to be a 1 seed, you have to either win your conference in the regular season or the tournament. Virginia didn't do that. Definitely not Virginia. That'd be a week 1 seed. And Houston, no. Miami and St. Louis make it? Yes, I think they do. You're here? All good. As a Utah State fan, I'm just happy to be here. Yep, Utah State's in. Utah State's 100% in. Michigan loss does affect where they go, but it does affect where the lower seeds go. Yes, it does. Yep. Disappointed that South Alabama's still in their conference tournament. Yeah, they lost the opening game. Although ladder's tough to win. Ladder tournament's tough to win. Notre Dame opting, again, this selection Sunday. Yep. The majors need to make their own super conferences to increase the at-large spots. I think we're getting to that point. If Miami doesn't make it in this year, we're getting to that point. Again, I will look at the chat once every region, once one region's been revealed. I'll look at the chat, break it down, but you see what it takes to get in. Dayton, Dayton's out. They need to win their conference. St. Louis has played first four. Nope, I think they're in. They struggled the final month of the season, obviously, but I think they're on the 10 line. I'm putting St. Louis on the 10 line. I've not seen a single bracket that puts St. Louis on the 11 line. Or actually, I've seen one. One bracket out of 129 at St. Louis and Dayton. I think they're going to avoid Dayton. All right, it's time. Here we go. How's it going, Patrick? 15 miles for the committee. Who's in Carmel, Indiana? Nice. You played Arizona Duke tight, though, and didn't get walloped by a lesser team in the semis. Nope, they did not. Finals could be UNC Virginia. Yes, it is straight. Ever expand the tournament? Need to give auto bids to regular season tournament champions? I'm with you. I would go to 72, put in the top 4 teams that won their conference but did not win their conference tournament. All right, let's do this thing. I'm going to close the poll here. 49% of you think Miami's in the main bracket. 39% in the first 4. 17% think Miami's not making it. Should have a camera game selection Sunday. I'm with you on that one. I agree. It is time. Yes, it is. 13 for UNI. I'm going 12. I'm going 12 for UNI. Their net ranking is relatively high compared to the other at-larges, or automatic qualifiers, I should say. They've got some good wins under the belt. I think UNI gets to the 12 line. Which one is live? Is it on watch? Oh, man. All right, let's do this thing. All right, I'm not looking at the chat to start, so I'm not looking at the chat while we reveal the first region. No surprises. The number 1 overall seed is going to be Duke. No surprises there. They will play in Greenville. Duke, winners of the ACC in the regular season and in the ACC tournament, 32-2, number 1 in KenPom, number 1 in net, and they will take on Siena down in Greenville. So that's your 116 Siena. Didn't know if they were going to be on the 15 or the 16 line. It's actually a bad matchup for Siena because Siena was the 8th worst automatic qualifier in terms of the net rankings. A bit surprising there. Ohio State is your 8th seed. So Ohio State is the 8. No surprises if they're in the field. Ohio State top 30 team in the net rankings. And they will take on TCU. I called that one perfectly, actually. I called that one perfectly. If you look at my Twitter, I called Ohio State TCU perfectly. So Ohio State TCU is your 8-9 matchup. Big 10 against Big 12. TCU number 39 in the net rankings. We go to the 5-12. It's St. John's as the 5. St. John's, the Big East Tournament champions once again. Patino's squad, 15 in the net ranking. They will take on, in San Diego, they will take on, don't be High Point, don't be High Point, don't be High Point. Please don't be High Point, don't be High Point. UNI, yep. UNI is on the 12 line. UNI is on the 12 line. That's the matchup I did not want for High Point because St. John's is good down low. But UNI, winners of Arch Madness. It was a wild tournament in March Madness. So St. John's against UNI. UNI, 72 in the net rankings. 4 quad 2 wins under their belt. And their quad 1 games only lost both games by a combined 8 points. So, could be an upset potential there. And then in San Diego, Kansas on the 4 line. Kansas will take on Cal Baptist. Crazy game last night to knock on Utah Valley. 2-point game in that one. And, man, that missed dunk. Now the 6 line. Louisville. No surprises there on the 6th line. They'll take on USF. Well, I'm actually batting pretty well for my bracket. So USF qualified for the American automatically. Michigan State is on the 3 line. Okay, they might have impacted the Purdue game. They might have flipped Purdue and Michigan State based on the results. Because I had Michigan State on the 2 line. They moved to the 3. So Michigan State will take on North Dakota State. But a bit of a surprise there. Michigan State, their average seed in the bracket matrix was 2.29. A lot of people have them on the 2 line. Could mean Purdue leapfrogged them after that win against Michigan. UCLA, good second half of the season after Cronin called his team out. They're on the 7 line. They're going to Philly. They will take on UCF. So UCF had a feeling they were in the field. But that eliminates the bubble team. UCF, that big win in the quarterfinals. pretty much solidified their spot. That's one bubble team, if you want to call it that, although a lot of people had UCF in the field. Regardless, UCF was a team that was in every single bracket on Bracket Major. So then UConn is the 2. And they will take on the 15 seed, which is going to be, drumroll please, Furman out of the SoCon. All right. So there you go. First 4 get revealed at the same time. All right, so which team is a knock? Doesn't really knock anyone. UCF was projected to be in. They were like a strong bubble. Yeah, I agree. Michigan State does not deserve it too. I agree. I'm just surprised it went like that. I'm surprised because usually they don't factor in the Big Ten tournament at all. I'm surprised for that. Right now I'll look at the comments. No Miami yet? Nope. Well, nothing so far. First 4 has tomorrow. All I'm saying is USF. I could see you and I. You and I played very good games in Quad 1. Thoughts on this one? I mean, Duke is number 1 overall. No surprises there. First 4 next. We have no idea. First 4 completely random. First 4 is completely random. All right, so let me get rid of the AQs. Let me get rid of everyone here. So Duke, Cal Baptist, Furman. All right. They're going to make Miami sweat out? Yeah, they always make them sweat out. Seriously, and SeatGeek? Well, so far, they'll probably drop during game time. Yeah, Purdue's going to be 2 at this point. Who are we facing? It hasn't been announced yet. I had you guys facing North Dakota State. Obviously, that's not happening anymore. Quick time, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you on that one. All right, let me get this in. You and I. Yeah, Purdue at this point, they got to be a 2. Purdue is going to be a 2 at this point. Yeah, this is a good bracket for Duke. It's a pretty good bracket for Duke, at least to get to the Elite 8. I like the top half for them. I like that top half a lot for them. All right, let me get this in. Yeah, East. Duke and UConn, the same region, is going to be insane. That's going to be tough. All right, so let me see. Alabama, BYU, Clemson, Florida, Georgia. How many combined titles do 4 have since 99? Oh, man, it's a lot. Between Duke, UConn, Michigan State, Kansas. Yeah, that's a loaded region. High Point is 11? No, they're going to get a 12. Or a 13, but they're not getting it at 11. Yeah, Duke, I think, is going to destroy Siena. Santa Clara makes it? Yes, they should. Yeah, I think after being St. Mary's I'd be very surprised if they don't make it. Be very, very surprised. All right, let me get this out. Oklahoma should get over Texas. I'm with you on that one. No, there's no spoilers, BJ. The East has already been announced. Bringing it for Duke? What? By giving them Siena? No, they're the number 1 overall seed. If anything, Siena does not deserve to be a 16. They should probably be on the 15 line. Or the cities, Greenville is the big one. Yeah, Louisville's team last year was better, and they got an 8. It's bizarre. Again, I'm going to try to get to every comment in the chat, but obviously it's flying, so they can't score points. Yeah, San Diego State, I don't think it's making it. St. Clair's making it rigged. I wouldn't say rigged, but I think it's messed up. UConn, St. John's in the same region. Yep, that's allowed. You're allowed to have that. You just can't have rematches till the Elite 8 in that spot. So, did I get everyone in? Did I get all the teams in? Okay, Duke, UConn. Hang on, give me a second here, guys. Give me a second here. Let me just make sure I eliminate all the teams that I need to. Louisville. So far, no Auburn or Miami. Nope. Finally, some blowback from Department of Labor Safety. About time. About time. Yeah, Cordon Bleu Culinary Academy. Yeah, Colin Miami's betrayal, yes. Yeah, appreciate all you guys tuning in for this one. All right, let me just double check. Make sure I got every team eliminated. You missed the evaluation number 1 overall. I'm with you on that one. Making brackets for this? Yeah, I'm going to make a bracket. And again, click the link above or scan the QR code to join the bracket challenge. Label a group A through D? No, I'm fine with how it is right now. Is that a rule? Yep, that's a rule. There are some exceptions if, let's say, there's more than 8 teams in a conference that make it. Next region get announced at the next commercial break, like 60 seconds. USF, yep, on the automatic qualifiers, yep. All right, appreciate you. All right. All right, so let's take USF out. I don't think I'm missing anyone else. All right, I don't think I'm missing anyone else. All right, join perfect. All right, you can fill up to 5 brackets. I'm filling out a Florida bracket, a regular bracket, and a High Point bracket. So, or East and San Diego. It only matters for the region name only matters for the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. That's what it's based on. So that's what it's based on. It's not based on anything else. Why does UCF have to go all the way up there? At least it's warm around this time of year. It usually has 1 day in April major. Sometimes they have 2. Yeah, BYU has to play Thursday round 1. Yep. Well, it's not an informal rule. They have to. They can't play Sundays. So BYU, we know they have to be in the South region. East and South have to play Thursday, Sunday for the Sweet 16 Elite 8. So BYU has to be in the South. So we can pencil in BYU probably on the 6th line in the South. I'm just going to tentatively, just because of that. Yeah, Mountain West 1 team. Although they did not look good in conference. They did not look good. Mountain West did not look good in non-conference play. I said they were one big league at the start of the year. All right, so BYU I'm just tentatively putting on the 6th line because I cannot play Midwest or West because that would be Friday, Sunday. All right, we go to the next region. It is Arizona as the number 2 overall seed. So Arizona in the West. I'm not looking at the chat while we reveal this side. This is the West region. So Arizona gets the number 2 overall. No surprises there in terms of being on the 1 line. Dominant season, won the Big 12 tournament, won the Big 12. Number 3 in the KenPom, number 3 in the net rankings. Dominant year, 32-2. They will take on LIU. So the Sharks make it in for the first time since the merger. So that means the 2 16 games after this will be first 4. So you figure now, Lehigh, UMBC, Prairie View A&M, and Howard, those are going to be your first 4 teams for playing. But LIU avoids Dayton. Bit of a surprise there. Villanova against Utah State. So that's your 8-9 matchup. Utah State winner of the Mountain West. Villanova back in the tournament. Minor surprise to see Utah State and Villanova both on the 8 line. I think Utah State might have gotten a bit shafted there. It's funny, actually, never mind. Actually, Utah State against Villanova anyways, but it was just reversed in the seeds. Wisconsin with the 5 seed. They pull off some upsets this year. Wisconsin against... Oh, Jesus! Oh, Jesus! We're going to Portland. Oh, crap. Wisconsin against High Point. The Q is rocking right now. Wisconsin against High Point. Oh, man. Whew. Back-to-back years they take on a Big Ten team. High Point, their highest seed ever. Oh, jeez. Arkansas is the 4. Oh, we are screwed. We are screwed. If we make it out. Arkansas is a good team. Arkansas, Calipari's got that team in the right direction against Hawaii. So Hawaii won last night. Arkansas as the 4. Wisconsin. 25 in the net rankings. Wait, BYU is the... Wait. Can that happen? Wait a second. Or did I miss something? Hang on, I might have missed something. Texas, NC State. That's the first 4 game. So Texas, people had him in the field. NC State, I held the 9 line. Bit of a surprise there. Texas and NC State going to Dayton. And that takes 2 bubble teams out of the equation. Gonzaga is your 3. Give me a second here, guys. Gonzaga going to Portland. They stay out west. Champions of the West Coast Conference. We're moving over to the Pac-12. They'll take on Kennesaw. Wow, NC State is a 9. Or, I mean, on the first 4 line. Man, did not see that coming. Miami is your 7. Miami, Florida. Not Miami, Ohio. They'll go to St. Louis. They'll take on Missouri. So Missouri in the field. Again, had a feeling they'd be in. They were on the bubble, though. So bubble is getting weakened after this. Purdue gets the 2, so they do move up to the 2 line after that win today. They leapfrog Michigan State. That leaves 4 spots left on the bubble. And they will take on Queens out of the A-Sun, first-time tournament members. They avoid the 16 line, and Queens gets into the main bracket. All right. So let me put this up. Who wins the West? Queens, yep. All right, Arizona, Purdue, put a poll up here, and then I'll get to everything in the chat. I'll eliminate the teams too. I was watching this not me. How long have I been doing hoops? Not long. Not long. They just transitioned a couple years ago. I think last year was the first, or this year was the first year they're eligible. You missed Miami versus Miami game. Yep. Why does Wisconsin go inside point? That's gonna be a good matchup. That is gonna be a good matchup. But High Point jumps to the 12 line after Yale's lost 5 to Portland. Probably not. Probably not for that one. Does this eliminate Oklahoma? No. No, I had Oklahoma in the field, and I also had NC State, Texas, UCF, Missouri. I had them all in the field, so Oklahoma could still make it. Doesn't eliminate them at all. Doesn't eliminate them at all. Right, still don't over to Miami. I like what you did, David. I like it. All right, let me eliminate all these teams. Hang on, give me a second here, guys. I would say a chance against Wisconsin? Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Miami gets in. I think they do. I think they do. I think they get in the field. I will, well, Wisconsin's kind of streaky. On a good night, maybe we'll do it. Oh, you got a weather update? Oh, geez. So that sucks, you. That sucks. That sucks. But you're playing Texas Portland? I gotta double check. I might do it. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Yeah, tough draw hopper because Arkansas's red hot. Yep. I just want to, I mean, I just want to win one game. Yeah, High Point. Look, it's not St. John's. I did not want St. John's. Ideally, I wanted either Kansas or Tennessee. But you know what? They were Skippy choosers. We're on the 12 line. Yeah, Wisconsin come out of that bracket. Absolutely they can. Absolutely they can. Crowning Purdue already. Right, how large is the 11? Yep. Everything 12 and below is going to be automatic qualifiers. All right, give me a second here. So Kennesaw, take them out. LIU, take them out. I'm surprised LIU made the main bracket. I'm surprised by that. Queens, Purdue, but Purdue on the 2 line. So they did take into account that game, which I'm a bit surprised by. Miami, snub, Bill Oregon involved. Yep. St. John's, yeah, they once scored 40, but that was their only loss in the last 20 games. Is surprise bubbles in yet? No. Nope, nothing that I didn't have. Nothing that I didn't have. No surprise bubbles yet. All right, let me just double check, make sure I have everyone in. So I have to go to Wisconsin events. All good. Hey, look, we're in the tournament. Hey, look, we're in the tournament. Live stream. I'm ahead of Portland. I think I'm probably going to stay here. Gator fan. Gator's going to be a 1 seed. Well, I'm a High Point fan first and foremost. I went to High Point. I'm a Gator fan for football. I like him in basketball. I think Gator's going to be a 1 seed. They're going down to Tampa in the South region. Last time West Regional Friday Sunday was 1996. Yep, so BYU had to be in that one. Yep. Well, Miami, I have Miami, Ohio in the first 4. I have Miami in the first 4. And no teams have gone in that I did not have in. Bit surprised NC State's on the 11 line. I thought they were going to be on the 9 line. But rough ends of the season, lost 7 of their final 8. Yeah, probably Neil on that one. Probably. That's crazy, though. That is crazy during that. All right, let me make sure. Miami, Florida's out. Any others I'm missing so far? Wisconsin. I think that's everyone. I don't think I'm missing any others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What's 32? And then, yeah, 36. Yep, we got that. All right, again, appreciate all you guys tuning in for this one. Want to put the select show split screen? That's crazy. That's crazy. Texas, NC State. Ooh, man. I have NC State winning that. No, I actually got Texas. I got Texas. NC State's slumping us of late. Against Florida being a 1. Well, who are you going to replace it with? You can't replace it with anyone. I mean, Florida at least won their conference. Everyone else didn't win their conference. You didn't win their conference. I think to be a 1, you have to win your conference. Either the tournament or the regular season, but you should not be a 1 if you don't win your conference. Illinois 3. I have them on the 3 line. I've got Illinois in the 3 line. BYU can't play on Sunday? They cannot. No. West, I got it wrong. West plays on Thursday, Sunday. Surprise seedings yet? NC State being on the 11 line in the first 4. I thought they were going to be on the 9 line. So a bit surprised there. LIU avoiding the first 4. And I think Siena. Was actually underseeded. I would have flipped Siena and Queens. Whoever in Texas or State beats BYU. BYU is not the same team without Saunders. They are not the same team. They very well could. Take Villanova out of the locks yet? Villanova's a lock. Oh, did I take him out? Oh, no, I did not. I did not. Miami, Ohio? I think they're going to make it. I think they'll go first 4. Hey, Villanova's there. Yep, okay. Me and Miami Auburn again? Oh, man, that would be nuts. I think at this point it's going to be Miami against Oklahoma. That's my guess. It's Miami, Oklahoma. All right. Now looking at the chat for the next region, which we assume will be the Midwest, and we assume Michigan's going to be the 1 seed in that one. I'm just going to put Michigan as the 1 there in the Midwest. We assume that's going to be number 3. Again, Michigan entered the day number 2 in the KenPom, number 2 in the net. So we assume Michigan will be the 1 in the Midwest. Just preemptively put them in now. And it will be Michigan in the Midwest. No surprises there. They'll play a play-in game. Or play-in team, I should say. We assume Prairie View A&M, Lehigh, UMBC, Howard. They are the 4 lowest in the net. So we assume it's going to be one of those, or a combo of 2 of those 4, I should say. And it will be UMBC against Howard. So UMBC against Howard. Now, it's funny. Michigan wanted to play in Philly. They will go to Buffalo. Michigan wanted to play in Philadelphia. That was their preferred region of choice. They're going to go to Buffalo instead. Georgia is the 8. Georgia on the 8 line. No surprise to the job that Mike White's done with that team. No surprises there. Georgia on the 8 line. They'll take on the Billikens of St. Louis. Even despite their rough final month of the season, St. Louis gets on the 9 line. I thought they were going to be on the 10. St. Louis, even after that loss yesterday, and that crazy game against Dayton in the semifinals of the A-10 tournament, they go to the 9 line. So Georgia, St. Louis. 5 seed Texas Tech, the Red Raiders. Right where I had them too. I had them on the 5 line in the Midwest as well. Or 5 in just about every single bracket. Texas Tech, number 19 in the net rankings. They will take on Akron, the Zips out of the MAC. Team that maybe was the best team in the MAC, according to most metrics. The automatic qualifier that come from behind win against Toledo after trailing by double digits yesterday. They'll go down to Tampa. Now 4 against 13. The 4 is Alabama, the Crimson Tide. Obviously the big storyline with Bediako. He's obviously not playing anymore. Bounced back nicely even after all that. They'll take on the pride of Hofstra. Hofstra back in the tournament for the first time in a quarter century. Was supposed to make it in 2020, but then COVID happened. Out of the CAA. Alabama against Hofstra. The Tide against the Pride. And now it gets interesting because, again, the 11 is usually where you see these bubble teams or you see these at-larges. 6. It's going to be in Philadelphia. Tennessee, the Volunteers are going up to Philly. Oh, they're going to be on the 5 line. They drop to the 6 line. It's funny because Wisconsin is actually below Tennessee in the net ranking. Miami is in the field. Miami is in the field. They're in the first 4. They will take on SMU. So the Red Hawks get in to the first 4. Not the main field, but the Red Hawks are in. You do have a 2-bid MAC, and that eliminates the bubble. SMU didn't know if they were going to make it, but now there are only 2 spots left on the bubble. Miami is in. They are playing in Dayton against the ACC school. They have Virginia on the 3 line. Virginia's a weird one. Not a lot of quality wins, but they took care of business. People were debating whether they're a 3 or 4 seed. I have them on the 4 line. They're on the 3 in Philly. And they will take on Wright State out of the Horizon League. Seven seed Kentucky, they go to St. Louis. They'll take on Santa Clara. The Bronx advance to the main bracket. Again, I thought after they beat St. Mary's that they were going to make it. And if that's a bubble team, there's 1 spot left. There is 1 spot left on the bubble. We don't know who it's going to be, but there is 1 spot on the bubble at this point. So the first 4 matchups are decided. So whoever's left is making it in the main field. Iowa State's your 2 in this region. They're going to St. Louis. And they will take on the 15 seed. I'm assuming it's Tennessee State. And it's Tennessee State. All right. So Miami's in the field. Let me close this poll here. we're going to make it. I'm not sure. There's only one spot left. There's only one spot left on the bubble. So Tennessee State, HBCU survives the main thing. Who's the last mobile team to pick from? I'm going Oklahoma. Or Texas A&M. I think it's going to be 1 or 2. Alabama Hofstra's a good matchup. Yes, it is. I was making it. I was going to make it. They're going to be in the next region. They're a lock. They are a lock to make it. I had them on the 9 line. I'm assuming they're going to be on the 9 line. I said on the 2. I said the 4. Yep. I had them on the 2 line. All right. Let me just do this really quickly. Put a poll up. Who wins? Who do you think wins this region? Again, click the link above to join the bracket challenge. Or scan the QR code. UMBC is a 16 seed, just so they like it. Yep. Just how they like it. If Auburn gets knocked out, I think they're going to get knocked out at this point. I don't think Auburn's making it. Okay, so Akron's in. Let me just get with all these. Okay. Hofstra's in. Tennessee State is in. UMBC is in. SUV makes best Tennessee Miami. You could, yeah. I think Auburn's less than mobile. I don't. I think Auburn's out at this point. Could be wrong, though. Could very well be wrong. All right, Georgia's in. Iowa State is in. Kentucky's in. Michigan in. St. Louis is in. Yeah, potential SC Virginia matchup. Yep. Tennessee is in. Texas Tech is in, right? Did I put Texas Tech's in the field, yeah. And then, yeah. I think that's everyone, right? Did I put Texas Tech get out? Yeah, they got, yeah. 10 high in Portland? I'm not sure yet. Have you ever had a seed winning each game until Final Four? I mean, that's a safe way to do it. Definitely a safe way to do it. Yeah, Bruce Bell's going to be mad if they're out. Yep. Yeah, Florida the 1, Houston the 2. That's what it's going to be. Let me just double check. So, and this is what we have left. And we've got a line Miami did not. Ooh. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. Virginia got in. Yep, Virginia got in. So anyone else I'm missing? Make all lower seeds bracket. Nice. Anyone I'm missing on this? Wright State. VCU and Wright State. Yep. VCU. Wait. Oh, no. Not VCU. Wright State. Yep. Wright State. Yep. You put money on the UMBC beat Michigan. They pass half straight bad. Thoughts so far? I'm happy for Miami. Not surprised from the first 4. Happy for them. Bit surprised SMU got in. I did not have them in the field. SMU was a team that was in some brackets, not in all of them. Yeah, Howard, right? Did I put Howard in? Howard, yep, they're in the playing game. Yep, Howard's in the playing. All right, so here's what we think is going to happen. Yep, Howard's on the first 4. All right, appreciate you guys. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 17. Okay, so here's what we assume. I'm just going to fill out what we probably know at this point. Florida's going to be the 1 in the South. You figure Houston's going to be the 2. In Miami playing in Dayton's going to be fun to watch, yeah. Double Mac bid. We did. We did, Alex. We did. You hear the horse, you got the worst straw of anyone ever. Maybe going to Dayton, they're going to get correct for that one. We figure the 16 game. We figure that's Lehigh against Prairie View A&M. Yeah, Mac Commissioner very happy. Yep. Have to be. Got multiple bids. That's really good. You have trouble in this region of Florida? Well, that... You don't want... there's certain rules where you can't play in a certain state if you play there too many times. Also, you don't want, like, the home fans coming and making it a road game, essentially. You want to pressure Purdue proof today? I mean, was there really pressure today? Press Felix to be announced tomorrow. Okay, so we assume Prairie View A&M Lehigh is your 16 game. Your 15, we assume that is going to be at this point either Idaho or Troy, and then one of them is going to be on the 14 line. So, Idaho or Troy, one's on the 15, one's on the 14 line. Now, obviously, there's a bubble team that we need to figure out where they're going. 3 seed, you figure Illinois 4 Vanderbilt. I would assume that. I would assume Vanderbilt's your 4, Illinois is your 3 in this region. Nebraska, your 5. Could be a pretty stacked region. I know Nebraska's been struggling some late. But 3 teams that some people had on the 3 line. One's going to be a 3, one's going to be a 4, one's going to be a 5. Nebraska, Vanderbilt, and Illinois in the same region alongside Florida and Houston. That looks like on paper could be the region of death. But in the South region, the defending champion, the Florida Gators, winners of the SEC, even with that loss in the semifinals to Vanderbilt in the conference tournament, doesn't take away how well they played the last 2 months. They are the 1 seed looking to defend their title. They'll take on the 6 seed, which again we assume is going to be Prairie View, A&M, Lehigh. Playing game there. The 2 worst teams in the net rankings to make the field. And yep, there it is. Prairie View is in the bottom 300. Lehigh 276. So that's Florida's draw after round 1. Now we get to the rest of the teams. 1 spot left in the bubble. Clemson on the 8 line. No real surprises there. Clemson's your 8. Iowa your 9. It's a matchup I had. So Clemson and Iowa are in. 5 line. Vanderbilt's on the 5. Whoa. Okay. So setting a potential rematch with Florida in the Sweet 16. So that probably means Nebraska's on the 4, Illinois is on the 3. But Vanderbilt, to make it to the SEC Championship, shows you how much they watch the thing of Vanderbilt's on the 5 line with a 13 net ranking. Same line as Wisconsin. McNeese is the 12. 28-5. One of the top 5 winningest programs the last 3 seasons. Nebraska's your 4. So Illinois is going to be on the 3 line. Nebraska trying to get their first tournament win in school history. The only power school to not have one. A good chance here, though, is they'll take on the 13 seed Troy out of the Sun Belt. Didn't have to do much in their conference tournament. They had to win 2 games, one against an 8 seed, one against a 10 seed. All right, 6-11. This is going to be UNC, and this will be the final bubble team, we assume. This could be the final bubble team. UNC, well, if that's final bubble team, Stanford's not making it. He can't go ACC against ACC. Can't do that, so Stanford's not making it. Once again on the 10, which is not happening. The 11 seed, the potential final bubble team. Nope, not yet. VCU. So the bubble team will be the 10 team. The bubble team will be on the 10 line. The bubble team will be on the 10 line. So hang on a second. Bubble team's going to be on the 10 line. Illinois is going to be the 3. Barring anything insane, I don't think they're going to swap Illinois and Houston. I'd be stunned with that, especially with the Oklahoma City region with Houston. I'm assuming they're going to send Houston to Oklahoma City. 3 seed Illinois, yep. 3 seed Illinois. So all that's left really to decide is the 10 seed. Penn is your 14 after winning the Ivy League earlier today over Yale in overtime. That thrilling game. So Houston, Idaho is going to be your 2-15. And now the moment of truth. St. Mary's will be the 7 seed, you assume. The Gales, one of the best rebounding teams and free throw shooting teams in the nation. They'll probably be on the 7 line. They are. St. Mary's on the 7, a 3-bid West Coast Conference. And here we go. Texas A&M is the last team in. The Aggies of Texas A&M make it into the main field. I have them in the main field. Texas A&M, 21-11, 44 in the net ranking. 9 wins in the top 2 quadrants. No losses in quad 3 or quad 4. No losses outside the top 75 in net. They took care of business when they had to. A&M gets in, then Houston against Idaho. So that's your bubble. No Auburn. No Auburn on that one. Probably going to take Vandy this far? Yes. So, those are your teams. We'll see who the first 4 out are, but no Auburn. No Auburn. It's a 1-bid Mountain West. I'll put a poll up. Yeah, Texas A&M deserves to make it. Yep. No, Nebraska's in. Nebraska's in. They're on the 4 line. Nebraska's in. They were a lock. Nebraska's in. They're on the 4 line. So I can eliminate all this. Vandy Florida rematch. Yeah, that's not a good draw for Florida. This is a tough region. The top 5 seeds. All teams that we thought could be on the 3. It could be 3 line. Yeah, Nebraska's 4. Yep. Conference Strikes was won Iron Bowl in the Natty. VCU was directed Mr. Tournament. They lost it. Yep, I think so. Yeah, because Sunday championship games don't really mean a lot. Sunday championship games mean very little, so I think it would have been, the loser of that game would have been out. Which would have sucked, but yeah. But there you go. Auburn to the NIT. We're going to see who the first 4 out were. Not that it matters. It's all semantics at this point. No, it's not much without Greg Gumbel. I'm with you on that one. Without Greg Gumbel, it's not the same. Yeah, Oklahoma, they had a heck of a run in the conference tournament. Oklahoma's probably the biggest snub. But 15 losses, I can't... Again, no one really can complain on the bubble this year. If you were a... I think most surprising was for me is Oklahoma. I got 67 of the teams right. No, Yale did not get snubbed. They were never going to make it if they didn't win their tournament. Most surprising was for me is Oklahoma. But 15 losses. Look, no one can complain. If you're a power team and you missed, you can't complain this year. The bubble was so weak, you can't complain this year if you missed. I get Oklahoma being out. The first 4 round was Oklahoma. Oklahoma was the first one out. Yeah, I had them in the first 4 over SMU. Miami was the last one in. Oh, man. Miami was literally the last one in. So if Dayton won today, there was a chance Miami was not making it. If Ole Miss won the SEC tournament, if they beat Arkansas in overtime yesterday and then won today, Miami was out. Miami would have been out. San Diego State, strong KC. The problem is that Mountain West this year was very, very weak. Just especially for KTV. Yeah, Oklahoma, biggest stub. Yep, there's always a crown. But I can't hate on it for 15 losses. I can't hate on it. You have a losing record in conference play. Yeah, Miami was last. Indiana first 4 out. I think that's a joke. Indiana shouldn't have been nowhere close to first 4 out. Wow, Miami was literally the last team in. How's it going, JP? The Oklahoma do is win a winnable game? Yep. Yeah, that losing streak. Look, I think for Oklahoma, the biggest thing, you can't lose 9 in a row and expect to make it in. Oklahoma bounced back nicely at the end of the season. I mean, they won 6 of their final 7, but you can't lose 9 in a row. Yeah, they were that close to leaving them out. Yeah, I knew they would have been the last team in. I thought they were going to be first 4. I didn't think last team in. I thought it'd be second or third to last team in. Last team in. You might be sending a gift basket Arkansas. Yep. Diabolical. Diabolical on that one. Yeah, VC would have been out as they lost today. Yep. I think they would have been. But there was a chance. Bruce Pearl, classy about Auburn not making it. Yep. And we're at 2. Oklahoma and Indiana deserve it over Miami. Why? Why they deserve it? Why did Indiana deserve it? Appreciate it when we found that one. First 4 out was San Diego State, Auburn, Oklahoma, and Indiana. Yeah, what make the bracket? Yep. Appreciate you when we found that one. Appreciate you there. But man, jeez, that is brutal for Miami. Mississippi Valley State subbed. Yep. Doesn't mean anything comes to the best one. No, it does not. A high point winner, Iowa State winner, then Ram the other 3. I'm going Florida winner, high point winner than my regular bracket. That's what I'm going with. Yeah, Campbell team lost 9 straight, team won 31 straight. Exactly. I'm in the West and UCLA is guys with 7s. Again, it's based on where the region is based on where it it's entirely based on where the final the Sweet 16 of the Elite are. Has nothing to do with the first and second round games. You finally factor in the Sunday games. About time. I was shocked by that. I thought Michigan State would be the 2, Purdue would be the 3, but they flip-flopped them. I'm surprised by that. Can't tell me Miami isn't better than at least 5 of these teams, so I guess we'll find it on the floor. But I think Miami deserves to be in the field. I'm with you on that. Miami deserves to be in the field. I'm okay with Miami getting in, and a 1-bid Mountain West more than fine with that. That non-conference slate was atrocious. So, Norman Mid to college wrestling? No, maybe this week great. Dayton beats a team in March Madness in first 4 out. Dayton? Why would Dayton be first 4 out? Dayton was never going to be first 4 out. Dayton, they were always gone. 69 the net ranking. There was no chance for Dayton. They had to win their conference. Tip-off usually around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock Eastern time. You were that close to the rat. Yep. Right, so the games are held. Yeah. Share the screen making brackets? Yes, I will. I will share my screen making my bracket. I will do that. You're like, yeah, it's done in 35 minutes. Quick pacing on that one. Very good pacing on that. Yeah, so I got 67 of the 68 teams right in my bracket. I had Oklahoma in and SMU out. Yeah, Stanford, Cal, Seton Hall, Cincinnati, not even consideration. Yep. They were just on some brackets. That was definitely the bottom half of the bubble. Like Stanford, I didn't think was making it. One person had Stanford. And Cincinnati, I didn't think was making it for firing Wes Miller. Seton Hall, I didn't think was making it. It was really the SEC teams versus Miami and SMU. Morning like 5 a.m. It was thunderstorming. Oh, or thunderstorming. Yeah. UConn first for an upset. I'd be surprised by that. I know they played down to the competition, but I'd be very surprised. Yeah, Oscar starting 20 minutes too. It could be crazy. Gonna cover the women's bracket. We'll keep tabs on. The problem with the women's bracket is that it's the same time as the World Baseball Classic, and we're covering that. Your picks are now open. I like it. Yes, win 20 games in a season. Make it. I feel like tried to warm it. Yeah, but they made it in. Hip clip, so it doesn't matter. They made it in. They made it in. You Kennesaw State automatic qualifiers. Automatic qualifiers. I get you that one, Summer. Yep. They all got stumped. Yeah, definitely Jacksonville got stumped. They definitely got stumped. All right. Let me put in my bracket. Let me do this thing. Every Florida school that didn't make it was snubbed. Thunderstorm. A few UC complaints for some Alabama and Vandy. Yeah, Vandy is a 5. I'm surprised by. Vandy is a 5 is low. That South region is brutal. Utah State Nova. That doesn't matter too much. They're still 8-9, but I have that. I Utah State is 8. Villanova's a 9. NDSU and Troy. Bit surprised. Bit surprised by Troy's seating. Yeah, a little bit surprised there. I'm also a bit surprised that Siena avoided the 16 line, or not the 16 line. I'm a bit surprised that Siena is on the 16 line. I thought they would have been better than the 16 there. Let's go. Ken Smokers and watch people making the brackets nice. Sound like empty pixel 7? So we can't do that. Because I got everything ready for the, Oh, wait, no, they can. They can update your brackets. Dude, now, Miami's going to be last team in. They deserve to be in. Not last team in, but they deserve to be in. They deserve to be in the field. Yeah, but surprised. NC State in the first 4. I'm surprised for that. LIU avoiding the first 4. Also surprised by that, because they were outside the bottom 4 in the net ranking of the automatic qualifiers. So a bit surprised for that. Biggest snub and biggest overreach as far as seeding. So as far as seeding. NC State, I'm surprised. I know they went on a losing streak. I'm surprised they're in the first 4. And then biggest overreach? Ooh, biggest overreach. Biggest overreach for me. I don't know if there's anything glaring for me. Overreach-wise. Nothing glaring. I mean, everything was pretty much within 1 seed line. The only teams that was off by more than 1 seed line in my predictions were Vanderbilt. I had them as a 5. Or 3, they were a 5. And then I had NC State as a 9, and they made NC 11. Yep, you can feel it, Alex. Yep. You can feel it. U.S. Stones Canada, like, hey, Yankees and the Twins. Yes, they do. Yeah, a Florida National line. I got stuff. Yeah. Miami's have to make it in. Yep, but they truly says to me. Yep. Yeah, both statements can be true. Yep. But you know what? They deserve a chance to play someone. They did everything they could. They went undefeated in the regular season. Give them a shot. Give them a shot to play someone. Not UMBC, which other 16 school has a chance against a 1. I think Siena got screwed. I think Siena is by far the best of the 16s. I think they should have been a 15 seed. But I don't think we're going to see a 116 upset this year. Yeah, Florida, that's a tough road of all the 1 seeds. Tough road. I mean, those are 5 teams. The top 5 teams easily could have been on the 1, 2, 3 seed lines. Can it ever be the USA and A sport again? No, never going to happen. Never going to happen. All right. Pick Florida in the South, possibly the whole thing. I mean, Florida's looking good. Yeah, let's see if UBC does it again. Yep. It's even funnier the second time. I have both high wind and tornado warnings on the day that A-State took the USM Series selection Sunday and Oscar Sunday. Jeez, on the biggest CBA of the year. One of them, at least. Yeah, both teams are much better. Yep. All right, let me fill out my bracket. Again, this is not official. This is not an official bracket by any means. It's not official at all. But let's do this thing. First off, we're just going to start putting all the 1s in. Put all the 1s, put them into the Sweet 16. We'll just do that right now. Yeah, if they beat UMass, wouldn't even be in debate. No, absolutely not. As long as Web Exhibition, never going to happen. All right. Ohio State against TCU. All right, 8-9 game. All right, let's think about this one. All right, I'm making my bracket live on the air. You might SCU in the bottom left corner for suspense. I thought so too. I'm surprised they let it drag out that long. UF got a great draw. I thought they got a crap draw. I think UF is in the toughest region. Most surprised or impactful result of Championship Week. Most impactful was by far Akron. Akron winning the MAC was the most impactful by far. Picking Arizona win all. They got a good draw. They got a very good draw. All right. Let me figure this out with my thing. Miami, Ohio wins. Who they play next? Miami would play Tennessee. Miami would play Tennessee. Best and worst decision for the bracket. Worst decision, I would say Vanderbilt as a 5. I think is very underseeded. Best decision for the bracket. I'm pleasantly surprised if they got Purdue as the 2. Usually Big Ten championship means nothing. I'm pleasantly surprised by that. There you go, somewhere on that one. Yeah, BYU being a 6 seed. 4 straight tournaments where there was 6. You have no surprises there. SMU wasn't the last team to make it. No, last 4 in. Miami was the last one in. Also, are they interviewing him right now when they're talking about that? Or did they go alphabetical? So how Miami is the last one in? All right. All right. Michigan State overseeded. I'm actually surprised they're a 3. I thought Michigan State would be a 2. I'm actually surprised, but I'm pleasantly surprised by them. Yeah, there you go, Summer. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by that. Okay, Ohio State, TCU. How many at-large bids power conference get that show? I mean, we knew it this year. There's no real complaints this year. This year's not going to get too many complaints from me with the bracket. It's got a 1-bid Mountain West. I have no problem with that. They sucked in non-conference play. It was not a great conference this year. All right. I'm going to go with... I mean, TCU's very good at forcing turnovers, but I'm going to go Ohio State. I'll go Ohio State. What's up, Duke? Ohio State. Doing the bracket challenge? Nice, Alex, on that one. Nice. All right, 5-12. St. John's against UNI. Now, this is an interesting one. St. John's go cold at any moment. St. John's go cold at any moment. UNI did well in the first quadrant this year. That was a team that in the first quadrant lost 2 games by combined 8 points. Perfect bracket never happened. Pretty much impossible. Bracket where you put a poll less to choose. Would that be an interesting idea? Promise it would take too long. It would take too long. But you can fill your bracket now. I just worry that they're going to go cold at some point. But this is a weak region. This is extremely weak. Kansas is a much better team without Peterson. They're struggling. They're really struggling. Yeah, going to be out on TBS this year. I'm going UNI in the 12th and the 5-12. I mean, I'm going to go Kansas. We got Kansas, UNI. I'll go Kansas, but UNI is tempting. UNI is extremely tempting, but I'm going to go Kansas. All right, now I get the 6-11. I think Louisville's overseeded. Again, I had them as a 6 seed, but I've not been impressed with them at all. But can I still go the way? Yes, definitely. I will do that. I think USF can play with anyone right now. I think USF can run the floor well. They got the hot hand. Louisville, I'm not sold on. At all. I'm not sold on the Cardinals as of late. Problem with the Cardinals, so they haven't lost a game against the top 50 net school. Or, no, they have. No, they have. They lost a stat. Oh, man. 11 new Home Depot commercials? Yep. Yep. Home Depot's, Shaq's great with Home Depot. Well, problem with that, Alex, it's going to take too long. It would take way too long to do it. It would take way too long. Won't be surprised if USF and Akron win the first round? Yeah. Man. Well, I'm going to go Michigan State. Michigan State again. I'm going to go South Florida. No Sterling Pest around 32? Wouldn't shock me. Yeah, I'm going USF. I'm going USF. Louisville's not been great lately. Any Fern fans in here? Not with me, but congrats there. Commentary predictions for the games? We have no idea yet. No idea on that one. Okay. I'm going to have Duke beating Kansas. This seems like a pretty chalk region. UConn. That's a good one. UCF's been a bit streaky. UCLA's playing a lot better as late. UCLA is starting to peak at the right time. UCLA, and I'll go UConn. This is the blue blood region. This is the region of blue bloods. Oh yeah, certain sports, but not hockey now. I'm more likely oh. You know, first 4 answers. Yes, we do. Yep. Miami's gonna make once they show the video. Yeah, I had a feeling Miami was gonna make it from the start. I'm happy they made it. I'm happy they made it. All right. I'm gonna go UConn, and then, man, this is tough. Man, again, this is my real bracket. UConn, Houston. Oh man, this is tough. Top power conference teams to scale top majors? Yes, that's by design. It's by design, Hip Club. Miami could beat SMU. I think they can. Not sure they're going to, though. Any upset this tournament, what's most likely? Siena over Duke. Because Siena is underseeded. The rest of the 16s are... I think Siena is probably a C too low. I'm going to go UConn. I pick up the start. I'm gonna stick with UConn. I'm going to stick with UConn. Not crazy about it, but I'm going to stick with UConn. All right, Clemson against Iowa. Let's go to the South region. Go to the South. But why? Because they want guarantee games, or they want games against really good teams where they make TV money. UCLA go to the Elite Eight. I could see it. They're playing a lot better as of late. And UConn, I mean, UConn has been struggling, but Michigan State's been struggling a little bit as of late. I could see it. UCLA could put the pieces together with Cronin's squad. They could. They could definitely do it. One bracket gonna be bad. One gonna try to pick a lower seed. Oh boy. I'm gonna go Iowa. Go Iowa or Clemson. That's tough. I'm going Iowa. It's actually funny. I think Iowa's gonna be favored, even though they're a 9 seed. They're higher in the net ranking. Where Virginia, Iowa State go 5-4. Oh boy. Afraid to lose? I think it's part of it. Now they're gonna be bothered doing a bracket this year. Too much consideration for someone will be busted by early Thursday. Well, let's do a random bracket. It takes like 5 minutes. All right, Vanderbilt against McNeese. It's a bad draw for McNeese. I think Vanderbilt underseeded. Give me Vanderbilt. Nebraska, they finally win their first game, but then Vanderbilt beats them. Vandy could make the Elite Eight. Vandy, man, that's a tough one. Yeah, High Point, Wisconsin, probably 2 or 3 on TNT, yep. Tuesday night, it depends on what happens tonight in the World Baseball Classic. Depends on that. I have no clue. Oh, man. Yeah, Vandy's played Florida well. How's it going, Evan? Yeah, recently? Oh, yeah, it's pinned to top. It's pinned to top. It's the top link on that one. The game time's usually announced like 90 minutes. Man, Vanderbilt has a chance. They really have a chance to go to the Elite Eight. They played Florida well this year. Yeah, that's not a good matchup for the Gators. It's not a good matchup at all for the Gators. Let me get back to that one. UNC's not the same team without Wilson. They're not the same team without Wilson at all. But they don't have any bad losses. They don't have any losses outside the first quadrant. ECU doesn't have a ton of quality ones. I'm going to take UNC on that one, then Illinois, and then Illinois. It's going to enjoy the chaos. All good. St. Mary's A&M. St. Mary's got a good rebounding team. Give me the Gales. Give me the Gales. Houston. That's going to be a very low scoring game. St. Mary's Houston going to be a very low scoring game. Yeah, it's flawed, Hip Clip. Yep. We said it before. It's flawed. This could be the chaos region. This could definitely be a chaos region. I could see Vandy St. Mary's. I could see that being just an insanely chaotic region. Illinois rebounds well, though. They match up well with St. Mary's, so give me the Illini. They match up well. Oh, man. Screw it. Give me Florida to go back to the Final Four. Give me Florida to go back to the Final Four. And take Florida to beat UConn. Man. Oh, man. Yeah, give me that. Yeah, because St. Mary's gets negated on the boards by Illinois in that one. Alright. Now we go this side. You got to learn the game times for the first 7 hours on Thursday? Yep. I appreciate that, GeoGuesser. Appreciate that. Same to the game manager. Appreciate you. Yeah. You know, I love name dropping stats and just doing the homework on that one. Wait, so High Point plays. Okay, wait. When's that game? Is that a Thursday game? Wait, let me just double check. High Point's is that a Thursday game? And the weird obscure sports history. I love doing that. So I'd rather get it out of the way. Portland, okay, we're Thursday, Saturday. To your brackets, nice. Stay outside the KB Dome, nice. Nice. Gotta get out there at some point. Okay, so let me think. High Point, Arkansas. Okay, let me think. The Portland games. I'm trying to think where High Point would be in terms of I where High Point's going to be playing. Well, not where High Point's going to be playing. What time they're going to be playing. I want to be first. I mean, obviously, Portland's going to be the last region that tips off. Yeah, they play everyone. Yeah, Duke plays everyone. So it's... I would think High Point tips off first. I would think High Point's going to tip off first at like 2 o'clock Eastern time. I think we're the first game. Because you're not going to do BYU, Texas, NC State. You're not going to put that in the morning slot. Right? High Point's probably got to be the first game on Thursday, right? High Point's got to be the first game of the Moda Center. It's got to be the leadoff. Because Texas, NC State, they play Tuesday night. They're not going to play them Thursday morning in Portland after that long flight. They're not going to do that. So, BYU, Texas, NC State, that'll be in the night slate alongside Gonzaga, Kennesaw. So that's either Arkansas, Hawaii, or Wisconsin High Point is the first game. And I would think, because Hawaii, the time difference is insane, I would think Wisconsin High Point's going to be the first game. Don't like the chance against Wisconsin. It's not St. John's, at least. Wisconsin's a streaky team. Wisconsin's top 20, they're a bit overseeded. They're 25 in the net. Bit overseeded. I mean, they're a good team. They pulled off some upsets, but they are also incredibly streaky. I'm going to take in my main bracket, I'm going to take Wisconsin. Wisconsin is definitely... They're not a crazy rebounding team, which bodes well for High Point. In terms of interior defense, Games of Buffalo going first. I would assume Games of Buffalo going first. So whatever's on CBS, whichever game is on CBS will go first. Our live is 12.5. Yeah, that sounds about right. Wisconsin's around middle of the pack in rebounding margin. Virus play 6-year goalie. Oh, jeez. Wow. Whichever game will be CBS. So you would think CBS would be... Does Duke play Thursday, Saturday? The mean bracket going to Portland? Probably not. Probably not on that. But Sweet 16, if we make it, I'll go. I like Utah State in that one, and then Arizona wins. I'm going to take Wisconsin. Although I will say, this is not a bad matchup for High Point. They are a streaky team. Yeah, crazy day, Charizard. They are a streaky team. Wisconsin is near the... usually, the time's about in an hour and a half. Wisconsin's a streaky team. You see what's covered Michigan teams? I would think Duke will be on CBS. Duke fans sat up, far stats to 5-4. Yeah. Oh, no, he's a great player. He's a great player. It's not the same without. Yeah, I'll make my predictions for the TV times after I fill up my bracket. Again, this is my... I'm going to have a High Point bracket that's exactly the same, except High Point goes all the way. Give me Arkansas. All right, Oh, man. I'm tempted here. Harry Gill-Gunderson, yep. Yeah, Bruce Bell on CBS comes off as unprofessional. Oh, yeah, big time. Especially after how we acted in the SC tournament, yeah. Yeah, I'll figure out the TV times in a little bit. Let me just fill out this bracket first. Oh, man. Well, wait, your sister goes to... Wait, no, hang on. Hang on. Your sister goes to Hofstra. What is your sister studying at Hofstra? I know that's going to sound like a weird question. What is your sister studying at Hofstra? There is no... I mean, I grew up on Long Island. I grew up on Long Island, like 15 minutes away from Hofstra. So I know that campus well. My dad teaches at Hofstra. That's why I asked that question. My dad is a teacher at Hofstra. He's a professor there. So that's why I asked that question about your sister's music. Okay. Music. Okay. Yeah, my dad does not teach music, but just thought I'd ask. That'd be really, really funny. Your bracket's 26 out of 27 matchups. Texas Pipe will win it. Oh, man. All right. I'm gonna go with Arkansas. I don't know why. And then BYU against Texas NC. They're not the same team. I'm going with the play-in winner. Gonzaga. Again, Gonzaga, easy team to pick. Just pick their seed line. Pick their seed line all the way with Gonzaga. It's the easiest one to do. Gonzaga never gets upset. They never pull off upsets. Pick them on their seed line. Cousin went to a Rockville Center. Nice. Nice. Small world. I'll get a hip clip. Cousin Mercer went to Wright State, play baseball there, so hoping they go on a little run. That's a good reason for them. It's a good reason there. Kansas State sub by JC9. Yeah, committee for proving win to loss still matter. Yep, I'm glad that Auburn did not make it. Times, they don't get announced until 8:30 Eastern time. Usually around 8:30 they get announced. I'll make my predictions for the times after I fill out this bracket. Just figure out what I want to do with it quickly. Big difference in the net between the 7 and the 10 here. Big difference in the net. Miami's played a lot better against Quad 1 teams in Missouri as of late. Like, a lot better. I'm going to go Miami. Purdue. USCR is at 8. Yeah, Oscar started. Yep. Gonzaga's Eternal Bridesmaid. I think it's on FS1. Yeah, it's on FS1. Fox is airing something else. All right. Georgia St. Louis. Do I bet on a Mike White team in the tournament? Oh, God. Do I bet on a Mike White team? I mean, I know St. Louis is really struggling as of late, but do I bet on a Mike White team? Upset between VCU and UNC. I could see it. They're not the same team without him. Stream froze. Up. If it froze, refresh. Yep. Should be good now. Should be okay now. Oh, man. Do I really want to bet on a Mike White team? I mean, St. Louis has really not been tested against Quad 1 this year. Oh, man. That is tough. Scary Family Guy. Man. What's up between there? I'm going to go Georgia. I mean, Michigan. Texas Tech Akron's an interesting one. Because Akron's playing really well as of late. In Michigan, yep. Okay, let me see this. Hang on. Just initial bracket. Then I'll predict the times. I'll predict the times in a little bit. Yeah, Tech is struggling. They're on a bit of a cold streak. Akron deceptively good this year with their net ranking. Bracket link? Well, I haven't... You can't see my bracket yet. But the link is pinned above. If you want to join the group. The link is above. On that one. Oh, that's awesome, GeoGuessr. Found it? Perfect. All right. Yeah, I'm filling out a high point bracket. All right. Texas Tech Akron, but Akron has not played. They have no wins against Quad 1 or Quad 2, so give me Texas Tech. Alabama Hofstra, man. Alabama's playing a lot better as of late. They're playing a lot better as of late. Yeah, it'd be very unrealistic. It would never happen, especially if it runs long, but it would be cool. Get good ratings. It's like, wait, Brand, I love that. Gator's playing our birthday? That should be a good birthday present. Should be a very good birthday present. Throwing up people do more than one bracket? Well, I'm doing more than one, but I'm doing 2 brackets. Go down, get win much rounds. Nice. I'm doing a regular bracket and then a high point wins it all bracket. So you can fill up to 5. I mean, I got to do a high point wins it all bracket. It's the exact same bracket except it's high point wins it all. All right. Alabama's playing better as of late. I'm going to go Bama, then Bama, and then Michigan. Tennessee, I'm not crazy about this region. But give me Virginia. Yeah, Mizzou got a good draw, yep. Mizzou got a very good draw playing in St. Louis. Especially since Mizzou is not a high-seeded team. Winner get, they get nothing. They get bragging rights. Akron, St. Texas Tech. Yeah, Akron has not won a game in the top 2 quadrants this year, but we will see. We will see. I don't have a... I have 1, 5, 12, and that's... I have no 1s, 2s, 3s, or 4s going down. Iowa State. Kentucky's been struggling. But Santa Clara has a tendency to just fall asleep in Quad 1 games, so we'll go Kentucky. And Iowa State. Do I want to go Iowa State? I think I'll go Iowa State that one. Have high point win it all? Well, I'm going to fill out a bracket where high point wins it all. There is going to be a bracket where high point wins it all. I am going to have that. 3-12. You have 3-12s. Hopefully one of them's high point. Hopefully high point is one of them. And Wisconsin is not a great rebounding team. So that bodes well for high point because they are good on the glass. They're good interior. Last year, Purdue got all the second chance rebounds against high point. This year, high point has potentially a rebounding advantage. I look at Wisconsin's roster. they really, they don't have a lot of size, relatively speaking. Yeah, dude, a regular High Point wins it all bracket, and alternate what if High Point feels bad for everyone that's a forfeit bracket. Yes, pretty much. I pick St. Clair for Kentucky. I might. Yeah, Akron. Well, I think UNI has a chance. St. John's can be streaky. St. John's, if that offense goes cold, UNI's got a chance. I don't think McNeese beats Vandy. I think that's a bad matchup for McNeese. They got screwed over because Vandy should not be a 5. Akron, no one's in quad 1 or quad 2. Same thing with High Point, but Wisconsin doesn't have size. Wisconsin does not have size, and that bodes well for High Point. Now, I think that's smoked by Arkansas in the next round. Again, I'm taking Wisconsin, but I think Iman's got a better chance against Wisconsin than I did against Purdue last year. Like St. John's in Sweet 16. Ooh. I just don't trust their shooters necessarily. If they get stopped on the interior, I don't know. Let's go. Hamlin gets done for Vegas. Nice. So Virginia has not really faced a lot of tough competition this year. I'm going to take Tennessee to beat Virginia. Then I will go with Iowa. Do I go Iowa State? Michigan. Iowa State. Michigan. Florida. Let's go with that. There's your bracket. Yeah, play Phoenix up in the same day Super Bowl? Yep, it's by design. And McNeese is not as strong as for past 3 seasons. No, they're not. If Florida loses to Nebraska, I could see them losing to Vandy. I don't think Nebraska. I think they could lose to Vandy. The game I'm worried about most for Florida, honestly, is the Vandy game. If Vandy goes Sweet 16, because they played Florida extremely well. Phoenix Open, have I considered it? Not unless I get an assigned seat. It's too rowdy. It's way too rowdy. It's not my cup of tea. It's just a drinking fest. It's not about the golf. It's just a drinking fest. You know, Miami, their defense is very, very streaky. Very streaky. Masters tournament? It's never really to cover the Masters because there's nothing I can add that the broadcast can't add. Because I know where the ball's going until it lands. So, alright, so that's my bracket. UConn, Florida, Arkansas, Michigan in my final 4. We're going to go with that. And we'll see how that goes. Alright. And now let's predict the times. And then we'll sign off and I'll get everything ready for the USTR game. Okay, click the link above to join the bracket challenge. Okay, now we're going to predict the times. Get rid of all these tabs. Why do golf broadcasters always whisper? Because that's, it's that kind of sport. Okay. Quick fill random bracket. Troy versus Michigan for the championship. Book it. All right. Send my 2 brackets later on today. All right. All good, Alex. Appreciate you, man. All right. Let's see the bracket. I don't think. Some bracket today. Perfect. All right. Yeah, I want to find a bracket with the regions. Really, no one can complain this year about being snubbed, unless you're a like a manager, like a power team. Cannot complain about it. Power team can't complain. You probably got the auto kit. Yep. All right. All right, here we go. So. Yeah, where they McNeese and Troy play each other, they get upset. Yeah, golfers should be, the broadcast should be rowdy for that one. Duke Michigan State started on the Elite 8. Yeah, that's the blue blood region. That's a blue blood region. All right, so. This doesn't give me anything. No, this is last year's bracket. No, I need to know, like, why is there no bracket with the actual sites of where they're playing? Like, give me a bracket with the actual sites. Like, this doesn't help. Give me an actual bracket of the sites so I can predict the times. Nebraska beat Troy, but only by single digits. Yeah, Trojans? Though I don't know what to make the Trojans, because they did not do anything in the Sun Belt tournament. They played an 8 seed and a 10 seed. Yeah, which Buka will come back? Yeah. I'm doing a lot of watching. Yep, Panther through and through. Absolutely, Panther through and through. Random brackets of Siena Sweet 16. Well, that's not happening. NC State up to BYU. I mean, I think the 11 seed beats BYU. They're not the same team without Saunders. They're not the same team without him. I haven't seen anything about the NIT yet. I don't get why it's so hard for there to be a bracket with the actual sites. I don't get what's so hard about. Okay. Finally. Okay. Here we go. Finally a bracket with the sites, so I can predict the times now. Okay. I have to go to Twitter to find that one. Okay. All right. Let me pick the times. Okay, so let's figure this out. Projected times. Thursday. Right, Virginia Tech decline. Yeah. Okay. So we have on Thursday we have Greenville. We have Buffalo. We have Oklahoma City. We have Portland. How's it going, Joe? Appreciate you tuning in. All right, so we have Greenville, Buffalo, Oklahoma City, and Portland. Okay, so in Greenville, you have Duke, Siena, Ohio State, TCU, UNC, VCU, and Illinois, Penn State. Or Illinois against Penn, I should say. First up, by the way, this should not be a thing. UNC playing in Greenville is a joke. That's not fair to Illinois. Illinois is the 3 seed, should not be playing in Greenville with UNC as the 6. You have Dickie V and Charles Barkley calling the game. That's going to be chaotic. You badge for the Badgers? Yeah, could be. Could be. If they go to San Jose, I'm going. Easy flight for me, too. Easy flight. Like, this is not fair to Illinois. In fact, they have to play in Greenville, and UNC is the 6. Because UNC is basically they'll be the home team. Illinois gets a road game in the round of 32 despite being a 3 seed. That's not fair to them. That's not fair at all to them. All right. So I think the first Portland game is going to be Wisconsin High Point. Because they're not going to have the first four matchup of NC State, Texas. You're not going to have them travel and play Thursday morning. Oh, wait, they opted out of the NT? Oh, wow. Did not know that. I think Arizona goes down the round 16, but they could go all the way. Arizona's a good team. All right, so Wisconsin wins the early game. Arkansas, Hawaii is your second game. Your third game, I would think, is BYU against... So your Texas thing, Gonzaga, Kennesaw. That's my guess for the fourth. You think he needs to retire like Corso? At least he still has it. Dickie V at least still can form a sentence. Okay, Oklahoma City. They haven't watched Wisconsin play. Tell me again. I'm a High Point fan. I'm trying to. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a really good game. Some Michael B. Jordans. Yes, there are. Again, I'm a High Point fan. Should be a fun game. Should be a really fun game. Look, whatever happens, we made it this far. Oklahoma City. St. Mary's A&M, Houston, Idaho. The first game I figure would be... You want 2 East Coast teams. I'm going to say... First game is going to be... That could be the opener. Well, it only starts with an 8-9. With 5 ranks a group? Yep, only 5, yep. University of Phoenix? Yes. University of Phoenix should be in. It always starts off with an 8-9. It always starts off with an 8-9 or a 7-10 matchup. So the first game, I'm going to go Ohio State TCU. That'll be in Greenville. That'll be CBS. That's my guess. Followed by Duke Siena. And then in Greenville, UNC VCU, Illinois against Penn. Those are your CBS games. Watching the Oscars, nice. Tip-off times? Well, that's pretty... Yeah, tip-off times... Hang on, where were the tip-off... Hang on. Then we'll dip in on the... We'll keep it on. We'll keep it on for that, but... not gonna... pay too much for that. If that makes sense. Alright. So CBS, so this will be 12:15 Eastern. 2:50 Eastern. Bird sending 7 John. Oh, that sucks. 7:10 Eastern, and then 9:45 Eastern. Yeah, without it can make 7. Yeah, well, they did without a host one year, and it flew by. I would say when was Spock locked in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I would think they do. I would think with Crooks they're in. I don't think they're in. Okay, Portland's going to be the TBS games. So this will be 2 Eastern. 4:35 Eastern. I don't think anyone does sports talk. It's just one of those things that happens. I am not a fan of it. TBS, then 7:25 Eastern. Right. Or do they flip the network for that? They can flip the network. 7:35 Eastern, and then 10:10 Eastern. Or 10 Eastern, I should say. Brackets are called Original Watson. You all know comedy. Oh, jeez. Those are great brackets. Yeah, they can alter networks. Yes, they can. They can. They can alternate networks. I think they'll keep CBS with Greenville just to have UNC on there in prime time. Raymond Moore, original song. That's about it. Yeah, an opening monologue. Yeah, Auburn, I'm not sure if they're going to decline. Yeah, let me guess the networks on this. TBS is always the 2 o'clock slot. CBS will go Duke Siena. And then Greenville. Kind of wants an Oscar. Elite 8 Duke, South Florida. Whoa, South Florida, the Elite 8. Ooh, that's bold. Miami, Ohio in the Elite 8. Oh, man. That would be nuts. That would be a feel-good story. All right. I gotta go quick on this one. Armor accepted. Oh. So Buffalo. The order for Buffalo. Let's think Buffalo. Buffalo order is going to be. If I had to guess. Louisville, South Florida, Michigan State, North Dakota State. What's the other Buffalo one? Michigan, Howard, Georgia, St. Louis. Georgia, St. Louis feels like that. And Michigan against Howard or UMBC. And then in prime time, you get Michigan State, North Dakota State, Louisville. Actually, no. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Billy Crystal's worth the Oscars. And then Oklahoma City, let's figure out the order there. I would guess. BYU win over Kim Humstead now. Yeah, well, Kimmel, yeah. It beats Kimmel at least. Not that that's a high bar to clear. Oklahoma City. I'm going to say Vanderbilt McNeese is the early game. How about Nebraska Troy? St. Mary's against Texas A&M. And Houston, Idaho. Tennessee going to lose to either SMU or Miami? I think Tennessee got a pretty good draw. Because Virginia has not played a lot of good teams since the 3. I think Tennessee got actually a very good draw. First series regional coverage, I do not miss that. Do not miss those days, I can tell you that much. Now, True TV. I figure True TV would get Oklahoma City for this one. True TV. And 3:15 True TV. That's a hot take. It was even worse back in the day, yep. So that would leave 1:30 on TNT. Oh no, hang on. Wait. This has to be True TV. Hang on a second. That has to be True TV, actually. That has to be True TV. Oklahoma State's not going to start that early. 1:30 TNT. Or not 1:30. 4:05 TNT. Yeah, one seed's no surprise here. I really can't hate on any of the teams that are in. I think this year, if you got snubbed, it's completely your fault if you're a high major. Nebraska prize this country team first tournament win. I'm not sure the country cares about that necessarily. I'm not sure. Okay, 1240, and then we go 315 on True TV. Now you have to assign the networks and the times here. Hang on. After this, they actually... It switches over to TNT. So this goes to TNT. And that goes to TNT. Hang on. So CBS gets... I think CBS will get this. NDSU upset? Not very likely. I don't think it's that likely. Yeah, so if it goes 1240, 315, then it goes 710. Actually, in that... So Greenville would be 650 Eastern on TNT. And then you get 920. They put UNC on TNT? Michigan State CBS, I'm okay with that. I just want to see the chaos, yeah. Yeah, like that, like La La Land? Yep. Alright. That puts Oklahoma City, if that's the 130, 134, 725 on TBS. And that would put this at 735 Eastern on True TV. 1010 Eastern, True TV. Alright. Alright. That's what I'll do for the projected times. And then, we got one more side to do. And those games are in San Diego, Buffalo, no, I did Buffalo already. San Diego was going to be the last slot. San Diego was going on TBS to start. You've got Tampa, Philadelphia, and St. Louis. Jasons. Oh, it's not going to be... It's no chance to beat some of the ratings. No chance on that. Cable versus over the air? No chance. All right, so Tampa. You got Florida, you got Clemson. We're not going to put Florida first because it's the play-in game. Clemson, Iowa, it always starts with an 8-9. Clemson, Iowa's not terrible. Philly, you got UConn, UCLA. Oh, Philly's going to be CBS. Philly has to be CBS, actually. Philly's your CBS one. Philly's going CBS. Starts with UConn Furman. It always starts off with a lower game. Let me just double check. Yeah, Philly is going there. UCLA, UCF. 12:15 Eastern, CBS. UConn Furman, 2:50 Eastern, CBS. And that puts Tennessee against SMU or Miami, Ohio on TNT. And it would put then Alabama. Wait. Wrong thing. I put Virginia Wright State as the night game. And that's at 9:25 on TNT. Yeah, I won cable a while ago, yep. We'll see if Frogs wins anything. You only covered half. It didn't beat out halftime, just took away viewers. It took away 20 million viewers. It didn't beat it out. How's it going, Coleman? Go Haggis Vanilla. Right with the halftime? Oh, nice. Nice on that. All right, so that means Tampa games. We start off with Clemson, Iowa. 12:40 Eastern on True TV. Goes to Florida against Lehigh or Prairie View. 3:15 Eastern, True TV. In the night slate, I'm thinking Alabama Hofstra and Texas Tech Akron. I'll put Hofstra on CBS. That work? Yeah, I think that would work. Your World-Based Quest starts at 42 minutes. 7:10 on CBS. And then 9:45 Eastern on CBS. No, schedule, no, I'm just predicting it right now. I'm predicting it. St. Louis. Well, Kentucky's going to be in prime time. Kentucky be the prime time game. St. Louis. You'll start off with Miami against Missouri. That'll be at 1:30. On TNT. That'll get followed up by Purdue Queens at 4:05 on TNT. Oh, no, there's no female announcers this year. No female announcers. All 8 are guys this year. How much longer will be on stream for World Classic? Until I finish the schedule, which is awfully close. Okay, and then we give Kentucky, obviously, in prime time. Kentucky Santa Clara is your primetime game. That's 7:25 Eastern on TBS. And then at 10 o'clock, you have Iowa State, Tennessee State. Then you get San Diego, Arizona, Villanova, St. John's, Kansas. Villanova, Utah State is what's going to start things off. That's TBS. Arizona, LIU, 4:35 Eastern, TBS. It's your place, I got it, yep. And then at night, Kansas against Cal. Do you go Kansas or do you go St. John's? I'm thinking St. John's. And St. John's for that. That's 7:35 Eastern. True TV. And then you have Kansas against Cal Baptist. 10:10 Eastern, True TV. All right. Those are my projections. Based on last year's schedule, that's what I'm going with. All right. On that note, I appreciate all you guys tuning in for this one. Again, click the link above to join the bracket challenge. You guys have been awesome. Oh, I forgot what buzzword that was. So, be live in a couple minutes. And we will go from there. All right, so appreciate you guys a ton. JG9 sign off. I'll see you guys for the World Baseball Classic starting in just a little bit. Let me get everything set up for that, and I will see you guys in about